Welcome back, welcome all guys. So I have a video here that I would love to react to from Candace Owens, and it says he got 5 women pregnant and they are all celebrating. Let's take a look.
I kind of rang the alarm last year on what I guess you can only say is the explosion of polyamory. It was a particular case that I found to be very interesting out of New York City, where essentially they were asking the judge to recognize polyamorous unions. It was a throuple, 3 men, and they wanted that, forget gay marriage, now we want to say that we want to be a throuple, which calls into question whether or not the decision to acknowledge gay marriage was in fact a slippery slope for society. I would make the argument that yes, it has represented a slippery slope, that things have very quickly taken a dark turn in American society. Well, here now seems to be the
America is losing it, to be honest.
media trying to promote polyamory across the board. First and foremost, this is a headline, New York Magazine. You can see it features 4 kittens snugly, and it says, "Polyamory, a practical guide for the curious couple." This is another headline coming from USA Today. It says, "Swingers want you to know a secret. Swinging is not just about sex." Here is another headline from the New York Times. How a polyamorous mom had a big sexual adventure and found herself. Now, again, I was seeing this happen last year, and it's very, I think, telling when it is starting to move across the court system, because New York City did side in favor in that particular case that I was just alluding to. They did side in favor of the polyamorous union. They recognized this throuple. But if you need even more proof that getting rid of a normal relationship, right? Forget marriage being between a man and woman, or relationship being between a man and a woman, and now invite everybody into your relationship. This is a real story coming out of New York. A New York City musician. His name is Zeddy Will. He is 22 years old. He recently hosted a joint baby shower for his 5 pregnant baby mamas. Just take a look at these pictures. These baby mamas, 5 of them, all embracing each other. One of them, Ashley, 29, revealed the startling achievement by showing off the party invitations. She was so proud of this. She's like, yes, this is okay. I am very excited about this. This is Nick Cannon culture. I'm excited to be sister wives. Actually, these aren't even sister wives. I think we could call this sister baby mamas, because he's not married to any of them. And yeah, she revealed the joint invitation. It says, "Welcome little Zeddy Wills 1 through 5." Yeah, because there's 5 little Zeddy Wills. They're all pregnant at the exact same time. They look remarkably happy in these untraditional family photos, posing outside of posing at their party, holding their bellies, something that should be so sacred, the beginning of a family. And they're celebrating this in just a really crass way. Ashley revealed that they've all learned to just
Is he even sure he's the father of the unborn children? Another angle.
accept one another, all the baby mamas, because they believe that it's going to be better for the children. It's going to be better for the children. I call me crazy, call me old-fashioned, call me traditional. I know, Candace, you're a Puritan. I get that sometimes. You are just becoming puritanical. Yeah, I like being a Puritan. I do not take that as an insult, but call me crazy. I personally think that
Candace, you're not crazy, you're normal. They're the crazy ones turning things upside down. The guy should not even jubilate yet. He should make sure he carries out DNA after birth. Yeah.
best circumstance for those children would have been to have one father and one mother, and to grow up in a stable household, not in a household where the father has to divide his time across 5 different households, where he
It's even the kids that will suffer. The kids that will suffer for it. Because there's no way he will love them equally. There's no way he will be present.
has to divide his time during the holidays, when he has to divide his time on their birthdays, whatever it is. I think that would represent a more stable household. But again, like I said, in my personal opinion, we have seen a radical shift in the idea of what is a stable household. We have seen this push to almost make the traditional family dirty. right? Like the nuclear family unit, we've seen this not just in the school system, but culturally shifting away from that. This feminist manifesto of I can do bad all by myself, I don't need a man. And now we have this new dawn that is upon us where we're saying, okay, I do maybe need a man just to have a child, but I'm happy to share him with 5 other women. Now, I'm going to guess that this, as happy as they all look in these photos, is not going to be as glamorous as they're trying to sell it. I am going to make a wild guess that these women are not going to be happy when they realize what it actually takes to raise a child, that it does take 2 stable adults and the commitment that you want from your husband, or I guess in this circumstance, your baby daddy. But again, what do I know? I'm old-fashioned. Now let's jump into some politics, a moment that I think should not have happened. Here's the thing. I've been very open with the fact that I will be supporting Trump in this election cycle now that he is the Republican nominee. I've been very open about the fact that I like Vivek Ramaswamy. I hope he picks him for his VP because I think Vivek has a very deep understanding.
I hope so. They'll make a perfect combo.
Of the ideas. But there is something that is making me nervous about what I am seeing happening in Trump camp right now. So obviously, Trump did lose some support since the 2020 election cycle. Despite the fact that he is blowing the other candidates out of the water, I would say that some of his supporters drifted into the DeSantis camp. And the reason why the DeSantis camp was not able to do as well as they had expected was largely because of an online orbit of influencers, which were quite nasty towards Trump supporters. Honestly, what I got from them was that they felt that Trump supporters were all deplorable. It felt very Hillary Clinton 2.0. Not saying anything about, I didn't really get this from necessarily DeSantis himself, but definitely from some people that were in his office, people that were putting gators in their profile. Christina Pushaw definitely getting the sense that they were blaming all Trump supporters if one Trump supporter said something bad. This is how they all think, just kind of castigating all of them. And it obviously did not work long-term for DeSantis because he needed to gain Trump supporters. Well, I'm seeing the same thing now happen in Trump camp where they're basically saying, there have been a ton of people that support DeSantis that are saying, okay, now it's time to get behind Trump as the nominee. And they're going, no, we don't want you. We don't want you. Forget you because you didn't support Trump the entire time. Guys, not an effective election strategy. Here's the thing. To win elections, you need votes. So it wasn't an effective strategy for people who were supporting DeSantis to push away Trump supporters. It is not going to be an effective strategy for Trump supporters to push away DeSantis supporters. You don't want them to go, okay, I hate Trump supporters so much that I am now going to vote for Nikki Haley or I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. And I saw this clip. It's a clip of Congressman Matt Gaetz. He's great on a lot of things, but he was not so great here on Newsmax talking to Carl Higbie. This is a moment that, again, the Trump campaign should just say, this is not what we're going to be saying in the future. Take a listen.
What I could tell you is, like, for every Karen we lose, there's a Julio and a Jamal ready to sign up for the MAGA movement, and that bodes well for our ability to be more diverse.
What? For every Karen that we lose, there's going to be a Julio and a Jamal that we pick up. So the message that you want to send is, well, we don't care if we're losing support amongst white people, white women. We're just going to go after, the black and the Spanish.
Wrong strategy. Every vote counts.
Vote. Not good, especially because Karen is, without question, a racial pejorative that is being used against white women. You don't want to reject people at all. You don't want to use these sort of racial pejoratives against white people, black people, or Hispanic people, and to just simply say, we don't care about that vote anymore. Well, you're starting to sound like leftists. You're starting to sound, again, like the kind of things that we would hear out of Hillary Clinton's camp, where you're starting to castigate an entire group of people. It's just not going to work long term. And I think if you asked me whether or not I felt in this moment that Trump was gaining voters, now, despite the fact, like I said, he in terms of being a Republican nominee, he's got tons of votes. He's blowing the other candidates in the water. But the question about whether or not he's gaining support since 2020, I'm not so sure. And I think they need to stop in the same way that I said, if the DeSantis camp wanted to win votes, they needed to stop and they needed to assess themselves. And they didn't do that. I think the Trump campaign is going to need to stop and to assess and to say, how do we earn votes? This is not the way. Now, to be clear, Matt Gaetz is not a member of the Trump campaign, but I'm calling this out because this is not going to be the way. right? You're only going to win votes with a vision for the future that makes people feel like they can trust and like they can respect you. You're also only going to gain votes through hard work ethic. I still think that Vivek Ramaswamy ran the most effective campaign of all of the candidates. He went from a person that was completely unknown to being able to get 8% of the Republican vote in Iowa.
Wow.
That is a remarkable success
For the
story.
first time,
And I
wow.
do think that what needs to be adopted is his strategy. If you want to win, you got to run a campaign like Vivek did. He just completely worked his butt off. He didn't really resort to slinging any mud, and he wanted every single vote. Every Karen, every Julio, every Jamal.
It takes a lot to be disciplined. Discipline is underrated. What does it stand to achieve? Going about pregnanting random women at the age of 22. I don't know why women are vowed to lower their standard. For what? Who is he? What's so special about him? As a woman, the best thing you can do for your unborn children is to get a good, committed father for them. Raising a child is not even easy. Talking of raising a good human being. Most people don't have what it takes to raise a child. You have to have discipline, accountability, you have to be responsible. With the way he's going about pregnanting girls, he will not end up with any of them. I feel for the children, a real man doesn't go about pregnanting people. You have to be accountable for your actions. Guys, hope you enjoyed this clip as much as I did. See you on the next one. Be at peace with yourself and with all mankind. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.